Man, what's up, YouTube? Back here with another video, back here with another banger, man. As y'all can tell by the title of the video, man, y'all can see, man. Murdering a friend for $7, dog. That's all we gonna say, man. We gonna be doing too much talking either, man. Like, comment, subscribe, shut it.
I have been working on this for a while, this case. Talk to people that know you. Most important thing about this is to be honest about it.
Oh no, I'll do the whole lying thing to cops.
Huh?
So I'll do that whole lying thing to cops.
Okay, well, I appreciate that.
People usually get, I don't know why they would try and lie. I see TVs all the time. I was gonna do forensic file stuff, but I thought it was gonna be too hard for my son.
This is 21-year-old Kelly Marshall being questioned at the Dallas Police Department. The detectives just discovered a 26-year-old man murdered in his home, and Kelly is one of 4 suspects that the police wanted to speak with. Over the course of this video's 19-minute running time, we will be presenting you with a short clip from each one of these interviews as we walk you through the case in chronological order. From the perspective of the Dallas Police Department, this story began on December 15th, 2007 at exactly 11:31 p.m. when dispatch received an alarming 911 call.
So 911. Can I get the cops in the ambulance?
What's going on, man?
I don't know. I think somebody's dead or something. He's not moving.
The victim that this caller is reporting is 26-year-old Daniel Barone, aka Danny. His body had just been discovered lying in the main doorway of his house, surrounded in a pool of blood. Detective Scott Sayer from Dallas Homicide quickly arrived on the scene at the Oak Cliff residence located at the 2200 block of South Polk Street. Next to Daniel's body, investigators found 5 bullet casings along with a 9mm gun. After examining the body, it was confirmed that Danny was shot 5 times, and that these shots were fired from within a foot away. Also, after speaking with the neighbors and discovering paraphernalia at the scene, detectives discovered that Danny was a well-known local drug dealer and had been selling narcotics directly out of his house. About 3 hours after the 911 call was placed, Danny's family notified the police that Danny actually had a business partner. His name was Joey Cruz, and they suspected that Joey was the last person to have been with Danny just hours before the shooting. Joey was then contacted by the police and became the first person interviewed regarding Daniel's murder.
What I need is for you to
Yeah,
help
put in
me
that situation
kind of
early.
run down a timeline.
I get over to Danny's house like 3:45. We're just chilling, you know what I'm saying? Someone outside.
Hand on his head, looking down. Can't even look the officer in his eyeballs. You gotta watch that nigga shot.
So I said, Danny goes answer. I'm like, who is it?
The man at the door was a lifelong friend of Joey's named Christopher Wade.
I've been knowing him since I was like 12 years old.
Danny doesn't know him for...
Danny never seen him before in his life. Don't know him for nothing. So he comes in, he's chopping it up. He's like, y'all working? And he starts talking to Danny B about bowls, like pounds.
Yeah.
I'm in the kitchen room.
Pounds and shit.
They're sitting in there at that long table. So I was like, man, well, I'm fixing to roll out. It's like 8:30, 9-ish maybe.
Apparently, this is when Joey left to run some errands, and when he returned to the apartment, Danny was already dead, suggesting that Chris was the murderer.
I leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I'm only gone for like an hour and a half. I go back to the house. I find them dead. I'm the one who found them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Joey explained that he did not want to be tied to the situation, as he was worried that his participation in their drug business would be exposed. So, he asked his girlfriend to make the 911 call. Joey was allowed to leave the police station following his interview, as police were unable to link him directly to the murder. The man who Joey spoke of, named Chris Wade, had a colorful criminal history and had been arrested multiple times for drug and weapon charges since 2002. Investigators believed that Chris visited Danny and Joey's place of business with the intention of robbing them later that evening. They hypothesized that during the robbery, Chris shot Danny. So, detectives now moved on to speaking with their second suspect, Christopher Wade. Chris had an entirely different story. Chris told the detectives that he did see Joey that night, but he was actually outside the house while walking back from the store. He never went inside.
You're a person interested in the case because you know these guys. If you were just guessing, what do you think's the best possibility about what happened to him?
Yes, he got robbed. You know, they doing their thing, you know what I'm saying?
What made you want to go over there?
I had walked to the store and I had seen him outside.
After noticing Joey during his walk to the store, he yelled for his attention.
So the cool thing about Pi is that you can choose to just
Boy, oh
block
boy,
every ad that
man.
you're seeing, or you can opt in,
Over
watch the ad,
$7?
and then get paid to watch the ad. Dollar bill.
So here to show you guys
$7, man.
The two then chatted outside for about 30 to 45 minutes.
Joey Cruz, that's you? He like, hey, what's up, fool? I said, yeah, this ain't know this was your house.
That was last night?
Yeah, last night.
You think you're there for
I was there for a minute.
a couple hours or something? Or?
Nah, not a couple hours.
We already ready there.
Probably about 30, 45 minutes. I left his house by like 9 something. I got a booty call, so boom. I stretched out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent the night with her last night.
Okay. Whose house was that?
Dee.
Dee Dee confirmed Chris's story that he went there around 9 p.m. and stayed there for the rest of the night. During the days following the shooting, detectives worked to corroborate both Chris and Joey's stories, but were hitting dead end after dead end. However, 16 days following Danny's murder, Dallas PD received a phone call from a woman named Ashley Rodriguez, who reported that a young woman by the name Callie Marshall confessed to the murder to her friend Jesse Mendoza. Detectives Penrod and Sayers visited Callie's home, and she agreed to voluntarily come to the police station for an interview. Since Callie did not have a babysitter, her children were brought to the station with her. As the officers began their third interrogation, Callie remained calm and was surprisingly chatty, openly sharing incriminating details of her role in the crime.
I have been working on this for a while, this case. Talk to people that know you. Most important thing about this is to be honest about it.
Oh
Be
no,
honest with us.
I'll do that whole lying thing to cops.
Huh?
So I'll do that whole lying thing to cops.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that.
People usually could, I don't know why they could try and lie. I see the TVs all the time. I was gonna do forensic file
Oh,
stuff,
this
but I
bitch
thought it was
cold.
gonna be too hard for my son.
You know, actually, to tell you the truth, it's not really that hard. Callie, I wanna get to it here. I'm gonna tell you enough so there's no doubt in your mind that you know what I'm talking about. Okay.
You want me to tell you?
She then explained to Detective Penrod that her boyfriend was currently in jail and that she needed to raise $1,500 to bail him out before Christmas. It got even more bizarre when she openly explained that her boyfriend's best friend Tyrone Omar Richardson had devised a plan to get that money. Apparently, the plan was for Tyrone and Callie to rob a house on Oak Cliff, a house which he believed contained substantial amounts of money and drugs.
What they say was in the house.
Said Major
What's his name? Who's in charge of this?
Omar. He said he knew these people, though.
Okay.
He said he really knew.
So
Omar
your
don't
understanding is
even-
basically he's just going to go in there and he's going to take the guy's money. He'll take his gun with him.
Yeah.
Basically going to rob him.
Yeah.
So what happened then?
He opens the door and he shoots him.
Just shoots him right away?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just shot at him when he opened the door. He kept on shooting.
What'd y'all end up getting out of it?
I don't get nothing.
There wasn't any money?
He has $7.
As you just heard, Callie claimed that Omar started shooting as soon as Danny opened the door. When the shooting stopped, she saw Omar take a shoebox from a kitchen cabinet. The shoebox was supposed to be hiding the significant amount of money and drugs that Omar spoke of. Inside, it actually contained baggies, a small amount of cocaine, and $7. Callie was promptly arrested by Dallas PD and was charged with the murder of Daniel Barone. It is highly uncommon for a suspect in a murder case to be so forthcoming with incriminating details about a crime. Callie failed to invoke her Fifth Amendment right to counsel before engaging with law enforcement. Additionally, as a mother of 2 young children, it was strange that she showed no remorse or feelings at all when confessing to the acts. Regardless, Callie was now facing a first-degree murder charge, and detectives now had another person to speak with. Omar became suspect number 4 and was immediately brought down to the station for questioning.
Cool.
As it turns out, Omar Richardson also had a
Already
criminal
cool.
history, with multiple arrests for burglaries and other misdemeanors.
There's one thing that we're interested in on these cases, and that's basically who's behind it, who caused it to happen.
Yes, sir.
And that's why I just want you to be honest with me about on this thing. Can we do that, brother?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me what happened.
Omar first told the police that on the night of the shooting, he was driving around town with friends when Joey Cruz called him and mentioned something about a potential robbery at Danny's house. He claimed to have learned about the shooting the following day.
I talked to Joey, and he said some guy was planning on robbing him. So I said, for real? Joey told me he felt it, you know what I mean? The next day, boom.
As Omar avoided eye contact with Detective Penrod, Penrod believed that this behavior was consistent with that of somebody being deceitful. So, being fully aware that Omar was withholding information, Penrod decided to highlight Omar's concern for Callie's safety. He goes on to suggest that Omar only acted in the defense of Callie, protecting her from Daniel. He does this with the hope of provoking some form of confession. This indirect accusation, combined with physical touch and empathetic demeanor, helped to develop some trust between Omar and Detective Penrod.
That's crazy.
Penrod.
Omar, I want you to listen to me for just a minute, okay? I've been doing this for 17 years. I know what really happened. There's a certain set of events that were set in motion. There's somebody else on this thing.
Callie.
And you know what Callie's already told me? You guys got to the house. This is what's important. Tell me what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Show me what you got right here.
My heart.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want her to get killed, you know.
According to Omar, once they arrived at Danny's house, Callie got out of her Chevy Tahoe with a rifle. He was worried about Callie's safety and suspected that Danny might be armed, so he accompanied her to the front door with a handgun given by another man. Although this implied that there were more men in her vehicle, he admitted to being the only one who fired his gun at Danny.
You can do it. Let me have your hand. Come on.
I have no choice.
What'd you do? It's all right, brother. Did you do this to protect Callie? What happened?
We just opened the door, man. The cat was gonna run in, so I know he would get killed her.
Okay.
So I just started shooting. I didn't even know where I was shooting at.
All right, brother.
And then we flipped Daniel over and started checking his pockets. But Daniel wasn't there. I said, Daniel, man. I said, man. I said, I didn't mean for this to happen. You need to fade away. I said,
All right, brother. I'll give you a few minutes, okay?
Mm-hmm. Cooked his ass. They don't give no fuck about all that physical
Following
touch
Omar's
shit.
confession, he was immediately arrested and charged for the murder of Daniel Barone. Arrest warrants were also issued for Omar's brother, Michael Lynn Richardson, and his friends Kennard Camp, Isaac Hernandez, and Jesse Vasquez, who were all between the ages of 17 and 20. Police say that they provided Omar with the murder weapon. In January of 2008, Callie, Omar, and the 4 other men were now in jail awaiting trial. Omar Richardson began his turn in court in March of 2009. Dallas County Senior Prosecutor Brandon Birmingham urged jurors to impose a capital murder conviction, which is a life sentence without parole. Prosecutors highlighted that Callie needed the money to bail out her boyfriend, who was in jail for assaulting her. So, with the help of Omar, the two conspired and then executed the plan to rob and kill Danny. The plan backfired when they only found $7. The murder weapon and police-recorded confessions were highlighted as evidence. 18-year-old Isaac Hernandez, one of the men who was alleged to have provided the murder weapon, agreed to testify against both Omar and Callie in exchange for a reduced sentence of 10 years.
Or how did it appear to you that Callie was instigating, or Omar was instigating, or who was instigating?
I want to say Callie was more instigating at the time than Omar.
Why do you say that?
Because, like, she was, like, leading him on. Like, are you going to do it? You know, really just leading him on.
Now, did she tell you, or did she say why she wanted the money?
I knew that her boyfriend was in jail at the time. She needed money to bond him out.
Isaac would go on to state that Callie was the primary instigator that pressured Omar to participate. For example, when the men first arrived at the house, they all had second thoughts about going ahead with the plan. But Callie persistently pushed them all to get it done. After finally agreeing to go through with it, Omar grabbed the handgun while Callie had an SKS rifle. Callie exited the car first, and Omar followed right behind. Once the gunfire stopped, Isaac said that he saw Omar and Callie ransacking the house.
Callie had got out the truck first.
Did she have anything in her hands?
Yes, sir. She had an SK.
How would you describe what an SK looks like?
Assault rifle, like, probably, I want to say like that big.
Tell the members of the jury what the mood was like in the car.
Callie said, "What the hell? All we got, and there's ain't nothing but $7 in here. It's nothing but $7." You know, there's a lot of yelling between Omar and Callie.
Although Isaac and the 3 other men were not in the house during the shooting, they admitted to being aware of the plan to rob and potentially shoot Danny that night. They were all promised a share of the loot in exchange for providing the defendants with the weapons used in the murder. In response to the testimonies, Omar's defense lawyer Ed King said it was really Callie who had coerced him into committing this horrific offense, and that although Omar shot Danny, he did not intend to kill him and may not have fired all 5 bullets. He also questioned the credibility of the co-defendants and a key witness with a criminal past. However, testimonies and Omar's videotaped confession did not support the idea of multiple shooters. Callie Marshall went to trial in July of 2009. Despite Callie's claims that she did not shoot Danny, the evidence pointed to her direct involvement in the crime. Her motive was clear. She was determined to bail out her boyfriend from jail. But the robbery only yielded $7. Defense attorney Pia Rodriguez presented Callie as a struggling single mother of 2 who was desperate to bail her boyfriend out of jail and explained that Callie was unaware of any plan to kill Danny. Rodriguez implied that Omar, rather than Callie, was the mastermind behind the robbery. Therefore, Callie was not involved in any conspiracy. In a direct response to these claims, the prosecution called an unexpected witness to the stand. This witness put Callie's character under the microscope. Officer Patrick from the Dallas Police Department recounted how on December 25, 2007, just 10 days after Danny's tragic death, the police were alerted to a report of 3 suspects in a Chevy Tahoe trying to break into vehicles in a mall parking lot.
And back on December the 25th, which was Christmas Day, so 24th leading into 25th, were you on duty working?
Yes, sir. And we were headed up in that area and we found a Tahoe sitting on the side of the road at 2 o'clock.
And what statements did they make to you?
They both stated they were looking in the cars. They hadn't gotten anything yet. There was a small child in the car and then another female juvenile that was also in the car.
Officer Patrick's statement highlighted Callie's careless nature and only helped the prosecution portray her as the instigator rather than a victim caught up in a bad situation. On April 3, 2009, 22-year-old Tyrone Omar Richardson was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years, along with a $10,000 fine to the victim's estate. On June 11, 2009, a jury convicted 21-year-old Callie Marshall of felony murder as a conspirator and sentenced her to 60 years in prison. Following her sentencing, Callie's defense team filed an appeal, with their main focus being to suppress the evidence used in trial, specifically her videotaped confession. They claimed that, aside from the testimonies of Hernandez and Vasquez, there was no evidence linking her to the crime scene. Additionally, they asserted that her statement to Detective Penrod during the interview was the result of an illegal arrest and should be rendered unreliable. The court noted that the videotapes showed Detective Penrod reading Callie her rights before questioning, and Callie twice indicated her willingness to proceed with the interview. Callie then described her version of the crime in detail, and at no time did she request a lawyer or ask to stop the interview. The court concluded that Callie did not reasonably believe that she was in custody during the interview, so the statement was admitted as voluntary. The court ruled that the analysis of the evidence presented during her trial, specifically the murder weapon and DNA evidence obtained from her vehicle, was sufficient for the jury to have made an informed decision, and her appeal was dismissed. Jesse Vasquez, Kennard Camp, and Michael Lynn Richardson reached plea deals and received a maximum of 15 years in prison, while Isaac was granted his reduced sentence of 10 years. Callie Marshall is currently residing at the William Hobby State Prison in Marlin, Texas. Tyrone Omar Richardson is serving his life sentence at the Iowa Park Prison in Wichita County, Texas. He will be eligible for parole in the year 2039.
Damn. 2039, that's fucking crazy. Just kill me. I'm not gonna lie. Shit. See? Money hungry. $7. Thought they was finna get some fucking money and they ain't get no money and they caught a hat for $7. Broke ass thirsty people, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video, man. Y'all know how we rock it, man. I need 2 more subs, bro. Give me the 1,200 subs. 1,200 subs. I need 12. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video, man. We go.